Good morning, everyone. Okay, have you solved the example? Sorry, the property which we want to prove. Yes, anyone solved the property? प्रूव किया है क्या किसी ने प्रॉपर्टी? Hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
was the homework?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you tried this? Because I told you you have to go for the case 2. We have solved the case 1. Even I have given you what is phi and psi in the case 2. It is ftx and gdy. And you have to find out whether that property number 2 will hold. What you have to do for that? You have to consider LHS and RHS. And if you are getting the LHS is equal to RHS, then you can say that the second property holds. Correct? Yes, whether
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have tried, try केलात का?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, whether you got the result.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can anyone tell me how you got the result and what are those equations you have solved? Okay, in the case 2 we were there. So you have to find out firstly d phi and d psi, right? Actually, what is your second property? D of phi wedge psi is equal to d phi wedge psi minus phi wedge d psi. Okay, so you have to calculate each and every term, right? किती जणांनी solve केलेत? If everyone has solved it, you no need to solve for this. If not, I can solve this one. Yeah, let me solve this one. See, what is our second property we want to prove? D phi wedge psi is equals to d phi wedge psi minus phi wedge d psi. Okay, this is what we want to prove in the case 2. Yes, everyone understood the case 1?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt for the case 1? If you have a doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll go for the case 2. Case 1 is very easy. Simply you have to prove it is equal to 0. LHS and RHS both are equal to 0 since your dx wedge dx is 0. Okay, so how many terms we have to calculate? First, we will calculate this one. Then we will calculate d of 5 with psi. Then we will calculate this term. Okay, this is what your second term. This is third one and fourth one. And we'll take equation 3 minus 4. Then we will get the result. Okay. So let me start with the first one. That is, first we will find out d phi. Okay, we are having phi inside. So let me calculate what is d phi. It is nothing but df wedge product with dx. Now everyone know how to write down df. Df is nothing but your dou f by dou x dx plus dou f by dou y dy plus dou f by dou z dz. Wedge product with dx. Okay. In a very similar way, you have to first find out what is d psi. Okay. I hope you are writing with me because if you write this with me, then only you can understand. Because since no doubt if you are going to appear for IMCQ or any type of examination, you should have a practice. Dou g by, sorry, first we'll write down here d psi. What is your psi? It is g dy. So what is d psi? Dg wedge product with dy. Okay, so let me write down what is dg. Dou g by dou x dx plus dou g by dou y dy plus dou g by dou z dz. Wedge product with dy. Okay, next is d phi wedge product with psi I have to calculate first one. Okay, so we will first calculate the d phi with psi, that is this term, and then we'll calculate phi with d psi. Okay, as we have already written d phi, so first we'll write down what is this d phi with psi. Okay, first we have a value for d phi here. That is nothing but here dou f by dou x तो eliminate हो जाएगा ना, right? You can see this equation. dx wedge product with dx will be 0. So can I write directly dou f by dou y dy wedge product with dx plus next term is dou f by dou z dz wedge product with dx. Yes, everyone agree with me? Any doubt for this step?
Ma'am.
Okay, simply we are evaluating the wedge product. Okay, so if I have evaluated this one and now wedge product with psi, what is your psi wedge product? It is nothing but your g dy. Okay, so it is d phi wedge psi is equal to now what we have, your g is as it is, so we can take it outside and then we can write the next equations. Okay, if I take g outside, what we remains inside, it is dou f by dou y dy wedge product with dx wedge product with dy plus next term dou f by dou z, so right, dz wedge product with dx wedge product with dy. Again, which term will be 0? Here dy wedge product with dy is 0. So v remains with d phi wedge product with psi is equals to g as it is, right? And here we have dou f by dou z dz wedge product with dx wedge product with dy. Yes, let me name it this as equation C1. समझते हैं ना सगळ्यांना?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me go for the next step. What is the next step? We have to find out the value of phi wedge product with d psi. Okay, phi is with us. What is the value of phi f dx wedge product with d psi? D psi also we have calculated. What is the value of a d psi? Now we'll write down directly instead of writing every step. यहाँ पे dx wedge dy it will remain, but here dy wedge product with dy will be 0. So how many terms will remain? Here g with respect to x, dx wedge dy, and the last term. Okay, what is the last term? G with respect to z, dz wedge product with dy. Okay. Now again, f is a real valued function. I will keep it as it is outside, and if I want to evaluate this wedge product, yes, how you are going to evaluate this one? This dou g by dou x is also one real valued function, no? g अगर real valued function है, अगर मैंने उसको differentiate किया with respect to x, so that is also a real valued function. So these two I can keep it outside, and here we have dx wedge product with dy. Okay, dx wedge product with this term. Okay, plus next term what we have, f is a real valued function, dou g by dou z. g अगर real valued function है तो उसका derivative अगर आप लोगे partial derivative, that is also one real valued function. So what is remaining? dx wedge dz wedge product with dy, right? Now which term will get cancelled? This is 0, so v remains with, sorry, it should be wedge product. Okay, so what we have, phi wedge d psi is equals to, we remains with only last term, that is f dou g by dou z dx wedge dz wedge dy. So can I name this as equation 2? So now what you have to do is simply you have to subtract this equation. अगर आपको ये equation prove करना है, so what you have to do, you have to subtract equation 2 from 1. समझते हैं? We can write here 1 minus equation 2. So equation 2 subtracted from equation 1 and we get. Okay, what we get is firstly d phi wedge product with psi minus what I have to do, phi wedge d psi. Right, now we have both the equations. Okay, what is the first equation? G dou f by dou z. G dou f by dou z. Okay, and what are the products here? Dz wedge product with dx, wedge product with dy. Right, now you can see both the equations here. This is ना दोनों equations.
Yes, ma'am.
यहाँ पे क्या है dz dx dy और यहाँ पे क्या है dx dz dy. So what I will do, I will just interchange the position of these two, right? If I interchange the position, there will be change of a sign and it will exactly look like your equation 2. Equation 2 में क्या है dx dz and dy और यहाँ पे क्या है, अगर हम पोजीशन चेंज करेंगे तो अगेन इट विल बी हाँ इथे काय असणार आहे माइनस dx wedge dz wedge product with dy, which is very similar to your equation 2. Why we are
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
this? So that we can take a common dx wedge dz wedge dy, we can take common. So from equation 1 and 2, what I will do, I will take a negative sign to this one plus what I have in the second equation is, sorry, this is with negative sign ना, so this is minus, ये equation 1 minus 2 है ना, so this is what your equation 2, equation 2 को with negative sign है, right? 2g by dou z and outside we have dx wedge dz wedge product with dy. Okay, now if you want to again interchange the position, you can interchange the position and then we can write this as, if I interchange the position of y and z, again there will be a negative sign और ये negative के साथ merge हो जाएगा, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we remains with dou g by dou z, g dou f by dou z plus f as it is dou g by dou z and we remains with dx का position हमने change नहीं किया है. We have simply changed the position of dy with dz and with one negative sign is generated which will be merged out with this negative. Okay, so we got this. You can name it as some equation 1 and then we will solve the second part. Okay. Now what I have to solve is firstly, okay, I have to go for 5h psi, no? Let us go for equation. What is our equation? Okay, first we have to find out 5h psi, then we have to evaluate d of 5h psi. This part we have evaluated and what is the value of this equation? This is what your equation 1. Okay, ये हमने solve किया, right now? So let us go for solving the second one. That is 5h psi, d of 5h psi. Okay, what is 5h psi? Firstly, we'll write down what is phi. It is f dx, wedge product with g dy. So I can have f and g are real function which are outside and we can say this is what dx wedge dy. Correct? Now if I operate d of 5h psi, see if you are having any difficulty at any step you can ask me. Okay, so I have to evaluate now this d of fg dx wedge product with dy. Right? So everyone know now how to evaluate dfg because this is what the first property we have proved in the last lecture. If you remember, we have proved the first property as dfg is equals to, right, df g as it is, sorry, g as it is df plus f as it is dg, right? We have proved this one, so we can use this one here if I want to prove the result. So what I will do, this is what dfg wedge product with, as we are finding the exterior derivative, so we have wedge product with dx, wedge product with dy. Correct? Now what I will do, this is what your f as it is, the derivative of dg plus g as it is, derivative of f, wedge product with dx, wedge product with dy. Okay. Now again you have to evaluate what is dg and df, and then you can see the result. F as it is, then you have to find out the value of a dg. Okay, should I write here value of dg as dou g by dou x dx plus dou g by dou y dy plus dou g by dou z dz. Okay, and this wedge product I will write here, wedge product with dx, wedge dy. Plus, what is the next term? G as it is, right? We have to find out the derivative of f, that is derivative of f with respect to x dx plus f with respect to y dy plus f with respect to z dz. Wedge product with dx, wedge product with dy. Now how many terms will get cancelled? Here dx by dx, again this dy wedge dy, here also dx and dy wedge product with dy will get cancelled. बरोबर आहेत ना जागे सगळे?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what we remain in the first one, in the first equation, we remains with f dg dou g by dou z dz wedge product with dx wedge product with dy, right? Plus what we remains in the last one, again g dou f by dou z. Here we have dz wedge product with dx wedge product with dy. Okay. Now again, what I have to do here, I have dz dy dx dy. Okay, same है तो हम लोग कॉमन ले सकते हैं, right? f dou g by dou z plus g dou f by dou z, and what we have outside, it is dou z dz wedge product with dx wedge product with dy. Okay, now let me evaluate this so that we can get the equation 1. Okay, जो हमने equation 1 में क्या है, g dou f by dou z plus f dou g by dou z into dx wedge dy wedge dz. We get the value of a bracket. ये तो हमें मिल गया है, right? तो यहाँ पे सिर्फ position change है, otherwise it is same. So what I will do, I will just interchange the position. In the first step, this bracket will be as it is. So if I interchange the position of suppose these two, if I interchange the position of these two, I will have dx wedge dz wedge product with dy. Is it okay? And there will be a negative sign. In this bracket as it is, again minus will be plus, and if I interchange this position, then dx wedge product with dy wedge product with dz. So hence you get this is what your equation 2. Now you can have a similarity in equation 1 and 2. What is equation 2? F dou g by dou x plus g dou f by dou z. So you can see here also derivatives with respect to z, and one function is outside, and that we have a dx wedge dy wedge dz. Okay. So you can say from equation 1 and 2, we can say LHS is equals to RHS. And hence we prove the second property. Okay. Any doubt for this one?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if not, you can solve the third property if you have written that. Okay, let me write down the third property, and you have to do it as a homework. It is easy to do. As we have done the second property, you can apply the second property, because while solving the second property, we have make a use of first property. Barabar? So whenever you want to solve the third property, you can use the first and second property to prove the result. It is very easy. यहाँ पे वेज प्रोडक्ट नहीं है, सिंपल प्रोडक्ट है. सो आप पहला सेकेंड प्रॉपर्टी यूज करके इजीली रिजल्ट फाइंड आउट कर सकते हो. ओके. Yes, anyone want to tell me the result now? Okay, let me write down the second property also, so that you can have a similarity. And we can prove the result here only. So what is our second property? D of 5h sin, यहाँ पे हमने दो वन फॉर्म लिया है, यहाँ पे सिर्फ वन फॉर्म और एक रियल वैल्यूड फंक्शन है, राइट? So here we have d phi. Okay, so in the very similar way we have found the derivative of your function f, wedge product with psi, so it is as it is, plus, sorry, here it is with negative sign, f d psi. Okay, so change is only here, sorry, here it is minus 5h d psi, no, 5h d psi. Okay, so यहाँ पे सिर्फ change है, right? So you have to think on that change, and here we have f is real valued function, phi is a one form, but here we have phi and psi both are one form. Okay, just try to do this. You have to just put up the values and you have to use properties of property number 1 and 2 to prove the third property. Yes, whether you will do this as a homework.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See, I'm not going to solve this in the next lecture, so that's why I'm asking you. Okay, now let us go for the next part. That I hope everyone remember that lecture in which I have told you how the projection works. Okay, projection is nothing but your Sauli. Okay, whenever you stand uh, in, suppose sun is exactly on your head, so there is no images made for yourself, and if sun is back or if it is in front, then you can have an image, right? So here suppose your a is one vector, b is another vector, so image, or you can say projection of a on b. I hope many times you have written this projection of vector a bar on b bar in your 11th and 12th standard. आठवते का सगळ्यांना?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, projection of b bar on a bar. So these type of a term we have done. So with the help of projection itself, we have come to a term a dot product. And if you remember in the last 2 to 3 lectures, I have told you how this dot product is generalized. Okay, starting with usual multiplication, 2 into 3 is 3 into 2. Then we have applied this for vectors. A into b is equals to b into a. Then we have done for this uh, UI, VI, then we have gone for the inner product. आठवतंय ना सगळ्यांना? I have told you the in general idea how those properties work, linearity, then similarity and all, symmetric properties. आठवतंय का नाही लेक्चर तो?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is a projection? So you can say projection of this vector A on B is nothing but mod A cos theta. And then how the dot product is written, A dot B is mod A mod B cos of theta. And the projection we are writing, this is nothing but you are suppose u vector and this is what your theta, and whatever the projection we have, suppose this is what w vector, so you can have u dot w divided by mod of w. With the help of this only we have found the what is a dot product. Okay, and we know that if a dot b is equals to 0, what it means, the angle theta is a
90 degree.
correct, 90 degree. Okay, let me go for the next part. Now we'll go for a very simple definition which we have done it many times. That means suppose you have any point P in the E3 space with the coordinates say P1, P2, P3 and Q with say coordinates as Q1, Q2 and Q3. Then how you evaluate P into Q? P dot Q कसा evaluate करतो आपण? We have, I told you in that lecture also, no? AX, AY, AZ होता है, right? In the very similar way you have to evaluate. Yes, no one knows how to evaluate P dot Q if P and Q are any two vector in the E3 space.
Dot product.
हां सांगा कसं इव्हॅल्युएट करतायत. ते लेक्चर कळालं का सगळ्यांना? काय सांगितले होते? ए डॉट बी कसं इव्हॅल्युएट करतो आपण? ए के कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या होंगे? ए एक्स ए वाई, बी का बी एक्स बी वाई. Then how you write? This is with ax, bx and ay,
B.
ax, ay, bx and ay, by. Others are 0. Why? Because the angle between the x and y axis is 90 degree. So that's why ax, by and ay, bx is 0. And hence we are writing this as summation over I, ai, bi. Or if it is u and v, then summation over I, ui, bi. So here also what you have to do? हे तर किती वेळ झालंय तुम्हाला? कुठे फंक्शनल एनालिसिस ना? नॉर्म लिखते वक्त हमने ऐसे ही प्रॉपर्टीज लिखे हैं ना? So how you evaluate the dot product of any two vector in the E3 space, which is P1Q1 plus P2Q2 plus P3Q3. At least this I was expecting the answer from you people. Okay, let me go for bilinearity property. AP plus BQ. Suppose P and Q are any two vectors. A and B are all are scalars. So I can write this is ABR. APR and BQR. Okay. And what is the third property? It is symmetry. Symmetry. How you write symmetric property? And you can say abelian, that is P into Q is equals to Q into P. And the next one, we are having simply the definition of a norm here in this. No need to take actually. Let me simply define the what is norm. That P is equals to P1, P2, P3. If P is with these three coordinate P1, P2, P3, it is any point in the E3 space. The norm of P is defined as. सांगा. Norm P कसं define करतो? Norm is a function from dash dash space to dash dash, and it is
R.
written as
Space to real.
R3 to
R.
R3 to R or C, no? And how the norm is defined? P1 square plus P2 square plus P3 square. This is what the definition of norm, or you can say it is P dot P raised to 1/2 norm of P. Okay, just tell me if you want to reach from one city to another city, so how the distance between the two cities is calculated and which is the shortest distance between the two cities?
Ma'am, if we are talking about the shortest distance, then it must be the straight way.
Yes, yes. That is nothing but the geodesy we have studied in the classical mechanics, right? And okay, now you told that the shortest distance is a straight line, but whether always that straight line is possible for following a path, क्योंकि अगर आपको दो city को connect करना है with the shortest distance, then it is a straight line. But always whether that path is possible.
No, ma'am.
So that's why I want to ask you whether norm or the metric are unique or not. आहेत का unique norm or the metric? Both are unique or not? Is it so difficult to think on whether norm or the metric is unique? Just now you given the answer, no? The shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. Shortest distance between any two cities is a straight line. But that straight line or that path is always not possible because you may have, suppose you want to go in by with the straight line. अगर वहाँ पे कोई highway ही नहीं है या फिर suppose if you want to travel through a train, then if it is not possible, train तो direct straight way पे नहीं होता है ना. So that's why you told that the shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line. But what is my question? If that straight line is always possible, you told that it is not possible, right? That's why the concept of the metric or the norm is introduced, right? You can say that your metric is nothing but your distance.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, whenever you define a metric, you know that how to define a metric, right? D. What is a domain and codomain?
X cross X to X.
Okay, how you calculate this is what dxy, no? Dxy firstly we write it is greater or equal by 0, then dxx is 0, then we say that if z is another point, then we find the triangular inequality. So whenever you go for this one, d is a notation used for the distance. So whether distance is always a unique, that is what my question, no? Whether norm or the metric is always unique. Okay, let me give you a very easy example. Suppose these are 2 points. So can you tell me now how many ways are there to reach from point A to B?
Infinitely many.
Infinite. Correct. And what is the shortest among them? This is what your straight line, which is always not possible. So you can go through any way. Suppose आपका train का कुछ path है या अगर highway का कुछ path है, so you will follow that path, right? So to reach from point A to B or from city A to B, right? So which means that the distance is not unique.
Yes,
Imagine,
ma'am.
suppose, uh, okay, we'll imagine that as you are at home, suppose your mom is on terrace. Okay, your mom is standing on terrace and you are on the ground floor. So if she call you, whether you will follow the straight line to reach?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Definitely not, right? So how many ways are there to reach to mom? So you can go for whatever the stairs are there, or you can go as firstly you can go for your first floor, then you can go for the second floor, like this, right? So there are infinitely many ways to reach from point A to B. So in this, whatever I have told you, the real life example, तो उसका मीनिंग क्या है? मेट्रिक इज ऑलवेज नॉट यूनिक. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई टोल्ड यू दैट मेट्रिक इज ऑलवेज नॉट अ यूनिक, राइट? मेट्रिक का मीनिंग क्या है? डिस्टेंस है. डिस्टेंस वेदर इट इज ऑलवेज अ यूनिक फ्रॉम वन पॉइंट ए टू बी.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
That's why we go on for the triangular inequality. Now we have introduced this one point z, which is in between x and y. Then we have introduced as the triangular inequality. Correct? So that's why we can say that your metric or norm is always not a unique. Now, actually ये सब हो गया है आपको Banach space or the nonlinear space में. So I will just write down the definition. Summation over I pi square raised to 1/2. This is what the definition of norm. And with the help of this definition of norm, you have to prove the triangular inequality, that is norm of p plus q is less equal by norm of p plus norm of q. Second one, scalar multiplication norm of alpha p is equals to mod of alpha into norm of p. Okay. So let me show you how the second property will work. Okay, suppose you are in a 3D space and suppose this is what a norm of P. Okay, what is norm of P? It is nothing but the distance from the origin. Barobar na? Norm is telling you the distance from the origin and modulus will tell you the distance between the any 2 points. Your first point may be your origin. माहिती आहे ना सगळ्यांना?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, norm is telling you the distance from the origin. So I can have this is what your value of a norm of P. So second property will work as suppose mod of alpha. If it is so here alpha may be positive or negative, but after coming to the mod it will be again positive. So you can have this is one thing, but here mod of alpha into norm of P. If alpha is 0, it will come to the origin. If alpha is negative or positive, it will come here only. Okay. So we have to prove the first and second property. Let me start with the first property. What I have to do is I have to start with norm of P plus Q square, which is equal to, how I can write this as summation over I Pi square. Summation is running for 1, 2 and 3. Sorry, Pi square, not only Pi, just Pi plus Qi square. Okay, which we can write it as summation over I running for 1, 2 and 3, which is equal to Pi plus Qi into again Pi plus Qi. Correct? Now we know that, but we know that mod of A plus B is less than or equal to mod A plus mod B. माहिती है ना ये property, so we can write it is less than or equal to this summation as it is Pi plus Qi and into Pi again plus Pi plus Qi, next again Qi. Simply I have evaluated one step. So what you can do if you want to write down the step, Pi plus Qi, and here it is mod of Pi plus mod of Qi. Okay. एक्चुअली यहाँ पे लेस इक्वल नहीं लिखना पड़ेगा अगर आप नेक्स्ट स्टेप पे लिख रहे हो, क्योंकि ये लेस इक्वलिटी ये इक्वालिटी में लेस इक्वालिटी को हम कैरी कर रहे हैं, तो इसलिए हमें यहाँ पे इक्वालिटी लिखना चाहिए. अदरवाइज हम यहाँ पे भी लेस इक्वल लिखते जाते हैं. इसका मतलब क्या है, ये स्टेप इससे स्मॉलर है. समझ रहा है क्या?
Yes, ma'am.
यहाँ पे लेस इक्वल है तो यहाँ पे आपको इक्वालिटी ही कैरी करना पड़ेगा. अगर यहाँ पे इक्वालिटी है तो इक्वालिटी कैरी कर सकते हैं. राइट. So the next step we can have norm of P plus Q square. We have come to this and we are using now the Schwarz inequality. So which is now this equality will be now inequality because here we have written the term. Okay, अगर आप यहाँ पे वो term लिख रहे हैं तो less equal लिखने का जरूरत है. Right? Norm of P plus Q square. अगर आपको term नहीं लिख रहा है तो equality लिख सकते हो. Right? So this term and this term, with the help of definitions, we can say it is equal to, by the Schwarz inequality, norm of P plus Q, norm of P plus norm of P plus Q into norm of Q. Now we can take common and we can write this as norm of P plus Q square is less equal by norm of P plus Q into norm of P plus norm of Q. So now we can cancel out the one thing and then we can get the result as what we get the result. Norm of P plus Q is less equal by norm of P plus norm of Q. In a very similar way, I hope you can do for the scalar multiplication.
Yes, ma'am.
करू शकतात ना. why I'm not taking this? Because already this type of example you have done in your functional analysis. Okay. Let me go for the next point, that is your frame field. Okay. Let me write down the definition of a frame. And you have to see this definition and you have to tell me what I have written and what you understand from this. The set of three vectors, or you can say the set E1, E2, E3 are three mutually orthogonal, unit vectors of E3 at a point P. Is called a frame. If it satisfies the conditions, what are the conditions? The first condition is E1, E2 is equals to E2, E3 dot product of these two with E3 dot product E1 is 0. The second one is E1 dot E1 is equal to E2 dot E2 is equals to E3 dot E3 is equal to 1. Okay. So this is what our definition of a frame. Yes, what you understood from the definition of a frame.
E1, E2, E3 are nothing but simply the unit vectors along x, y, and z direction, which are perpendicular to each other. And if we take dot product of E1 and E2, E2 and E3 and E3 and E1, we get dot product at 0. And if we take dot product with self, we get 1.
Okay. I hope you have studied the term orthogonal and orthonormal unit vectors. ऑर्थोगोनल का मीनिंग क्या है और ऑर्थोनॉर्मल का? This is nothing but your orthogonal vectors, no? Orthogonal means what? The dot product of these two is equal to 0. Orthonormal means what? Then their norm is 0. ये norm ही है ना? P dot P is nothing but your norm,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
No? So norm of any vector, if it is equal to 1, this is orthonormal, and if they are perpendicular to each other, then it is orthogonal. So what you understood this from the frame? Actually, frame whenever we say it, we imagine this as any photograph with some frame and all. But here actually frame का definition क्या है? If you are having any three vector which are mutually orthogonal unit vector. What do you mean by mutually orthogonal? The dot product of any vector with any other vector is 0, and unit vector means what? Their norm is equal to 1, or you can say orthonormal, or E1 dot E1 should be equal to 0 at any point P is called a frame if it satisfies these two conditions. Okay, or we can say they are satisfying the Kronecker delta condition, which we have studied in our classical mechanic papers. That is EI dot EJ is nothing but delta IJ, which is equal to 1 and it is equal to 0. That is, for I equal to J it is 1, for I not equal to J it is 0, right? Dot EJ, what is the consideration for I and J? Both are running for 1, 2 and 3. So you can just merge out these two conditions with only one condition, that EI dot EJ is equals to delta IJ. Okay, so what are the main properties of your frame? That is, firstly they are orthogonal, secondly they are unit vector. Meaning of orthogonal, that is dot product of any vector with any other vector is 0. क्यों 0 होगा ये? What
So
are E1,
20.
E2, E3? These are unit vector in the direction of x, y, and z axis, right? So if E1 is a vector in the direction of x-axis, E2 is one vector in the direction of y and z. So you can say dot product of x with y axis is 0, dot product of any axis with any other axis 0, but there itself, if you are going to take the dot product with itself, is no doubt equal to 1, because we are considering the unit vectors in the direction of x, y, and z axis. This is just like a norm, second property, and the first one is a orthogonality condition. Okay, so let me stop here. In the next lecture, we will go for this result, which is based on this frame, that we have to prove that any vector b in the can be written with the help of these three mutually orthogonal unit vector v e1 ve2 e2 plus ve3 E3. That is, if E1, E2, E3 is forming a frame at any point P of a E3 space, if V is any tangent vector, then V can be written as linear combinations of E1, E2, and E3. So this will be simply working as a constant, no? C1, E1 plus C2, E2 plus C3, E3. क्योंकि हम any vector लिख रहे हैं ना. So if what I want to prove in the next lecture, any vector V can be written as linear combinations of E1, E2, E3. So instead of those constants E1, C2, C3, we have make a use of itself. VE1, VE2, VE3, and it is nothing but working as a constant. So we know that any vector, if you want to write down, suppose you want to write down this vector, say 1, 2, 3. So we need a scalars, no? So C1, C2, C3 are scalar, and then we can write down them with the help of your basis. Barabar, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the next lecture, what we will do, we will prove the result that any tangent vector can be written with the help of these vectors from the frame, that is VE1, E1, VE2, E2, VE3, E3. ये हमने already prove किया है somewhere. That is, any vector field can be written as a linear combination of VI, UI. Instead of that, now we are doing for the any unit vector. यहाँ so C1 E1 plus E2 E2 plus C3 E3. Simply we want to prove VE1 is C1, VE2 is C2, and VE3 is C3. अगर हमने ये prove किया तो we get the result. Okay. Okay, if you are having a doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting. Thank you.